recording the whole time. I know.
Oh, I've been recording. I mean,
I've been around you too long not to know that. I saw you been recording.
Well, because you complain when I don't record because you say horrible things.
I mean,
oh,
shoot. I've been around you too long not to know that. God, I saw your voice twice.
Well, because you complain when I don't record because you say horrible things.
Oh, it's echoing. Stop it.
Yeah, I know. That was bad. Okay, now I fixed it.
Yes. Good.
Perfect.
All right.
There's such thing as too much Zeno.
I fixed it.
It's back.
It's back, yeah.
There we go.
Now,
right.
now it's gone. Yep. Now it's gone. All right, now we're live.
I'm waiting because it took a while last time. You know, you're like...
No.
Wait before you say anything. Sure.
But, all right, so...
I ran out of things to say.
Welcome.
Go ahead.
I know, because you've been talking the whole time before we hit the stream button. So
do the intro, man.
Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with...
Q.
And...
Tim Tuttle.
Of Sword and Board Paintings.
Yep.
So he's a local miniature painter here. He's got his company, Sword and Board Painting. Does some paid for work.
Yeah, I do commissions. I do showpieces. I've done a couple of different competitions. And yeah, if anybody's local and you want to see stuff in person, I actually have a display set up over at Van CCG.
Awesome, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You actually
heard of this Vans, man.
Yeah. You actually did a piece for us. This stone giant sitting over there. Here, let me see it. I'll throw it up on our dice cam. Bam! There it goes. Look at that.
Not behind his head, man. There you go. over a bit. There you go.
Hey, man.
He's trying to hit me.
Moving stuff is hard. I mean, look at the muscle definition he put into that. I'm amazed by the work.
Is incredible, man. I got to admit, I was like, wow, that's common. Because I tell later, that reminds me of the comic books. I could never get that down.
Like I'm actually writing stone giants into my current campaign just so that so I can use this guy.
Level 3, man.
I didn't say it was happening tomorrow.
That's how you know that the game is dangerous.
Of course it is. The game's Friday.
Bloodaxe says he has a painting competition.
Oh, all right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, shoot us your pictures, man. He'll take you on.
Absolutely.
Call out the miniature and the day.
Painting. Okay, he has painting competition. Okay, I got you now. Cool. I misread that entirely. I was like, a painting competition? Where? Bloodaxe, you're on the coast. You
did take off. You did drink all the last of the Baileys.
Yeah, I did. Let me take another nip so I can get this going.
It's just coffee, people.
That's right.
That's the stuff. All right, so let's talk about the news, man. I mean, we we usually try to talk about the news. You see anything happen this week, man? That was of interest that you want to talk about?
I mean, everybody's been hollering about E3 and what supposedly leaked and not leaked.
I know.
They got a release date out last night. I saw they finally got a release date out for Kingdom Hearts, January 2019. Kingdom Hearts 3. Of course, I am the guy who pre-ordered Kingdom Hearts 2 and waited 2 years almost. It felt like it kept getting pushed back. So the person that showed it to me even said they're going to push it back again, and I was like, I've learned to not count my chickens until I see the physical box.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's like the last E3. They released, December for the new Spider-Man game on PlayStation that I don't think is out yet.
No, I think it's October. Either September or October.
That might be because of storyline issues.
So I mean, that was that game was pushed back like a year or so.
It might be like, wait, do we wait until the next movie? Spoilers.
It's just in a different universe.
Yeah, but a lot of E3 stuff coming out this week, this coming week. So we'll talk a lot about it next Sunday.
Oh yeah,
we're actually going to have one of our friends, Sergio from Reality Breached, on the show next Sunday to talk to us with about the games and stuff like that. So you'll definitely want to check that out if you're interested in all the E3 video game goodness.
Everything he says is wrong.
Who? Sergio? Okay, yeah.
That's for the people that have been sticking with us. He deserves that.
He can't even pronounce his own name right.
I know. He keeps thinking he knows it. I keep telling him his last name is Lugio, but he won't listen.
Yeah. I thought it was Luigi.
Nah, it's not Luigi.
Make it a little salty with that one.
That's sort of the point.
Yeah. Well, salty Luigi. So.
Oh.
I like Lugia because I keep thinking he believes in the heart of the turtles.
I mean, Lugia. I mean, I just keep picturing him like hacking it up. Big Lugie. So that's all I can think of when you say that. So it's not really.
You can tell we're friends. There you go. It's okay, man. Would it be dropping Reality Breach? Check out Reality Breached I don't know when they come out. I don't follow them, but.
Well, I mean, last week we dropped his other podcast that he works on. So,
Black Pocket.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna drop him twice. You had to go ahead.
I'm gonna drop, man. Reality Breach, that's pretty good. He's the only guy that like me knows his turtles and stays up on it. Though we have a big disagreement about what the best turtles are, so you'll definitely get to hear that next week.
Yeah, I can see that coming up. I'm afraid the E3 conversation may get derailed on that one.
We'll start with E3 and then we'll roll into turtles. I like my turtles big, ugly, and bulletproof.
Let me knock off this webcam. There we go. So,
well, you moved the figurine.
Yeah. Let's see what else happened. I mean, we talked about this. So last week I didn't get the show out on the podcast, and I know the quality was not the best of our stream last week because we were doing it through my phone in a building in Longview, Texas, which cell reception was not the greatest. So if you didn't stick with us last Sunday, well, you're an a-hole, but I understand.
Surprised you got at it all.
Let's see.
That too. It was a good show.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't it have like 900 people, man?
Yeah, there was a huge audience. I mean, I thought it was right at 1,000.
1,000? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. We'll go with 1,000. Right?
Cool.
But no.
That number keeps changing.
Yep.
With it.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it started around 5.
And that might have been an exaggeration at 5.
But let's see. I mean, last week we talked about the Bethesda 76 a little bit, because they had hit that teaser out there. Yeah. There's, we'll know more about that coming soon. Bethesda has some announcement tonight.
Yeah.
So after this, so we'll have to catch an eye on that. See what they're going to be talking about.
Maybe they'll double whammy, and they'll also talk about the next Elder Scrolls. Imagine how wild that would be if they were like, next Fallout's coming. Oh, and the next Elder Scrolls. People would be like, I gotta save my money.
I still can't see this Fallout being much because I mean, it goes out of sync because they've always done Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Elder Scrolls.
It's online or multiplayer, so that's why it's not really a Fallout.
The only time they didn't was when they had another studio make it with Fallout New Vegas.
Right.
So,
but it's not Fallout 5. I believe it's going to be. It's going to be either a multiplayer, which honestly I'd like. No, I did not say online. I prefer a multiplayer, but it may also be an actual MMO. I would rather just be multiplayer. I play with just my friends, kind of like Dying Light. You know what I'm saying? How you could have people drop in and play the survival game. That was cool. So I'm hoping for multiplayer. So I can get on there with my boys because I've got an Xbox One, I've got my Steam. I'll get it on both if I have to be able to play it with all my peeps. But
if it's online, I just make it where I can be a super mutant. That's all I want. Just be a super mutant. Go hit people with telephone poles and street signs. I'm good with that.
The mechanics of an MMO. I just don't think it'll do justice to Fallout.
I don't know, man. I went back to Elder Scrolls Online. I've been playing that for a couple of weeks now, and man, it's so much better. It is so much better than it was. Every change they made was good. I'm still just not a big MMO person. I've learned that I've grown out of the MMO days. The only MMO I'm looking forward to is more for nostalgia reasons, and that's World of Warcraft Classic server.
Oh yeah. I've heard about that.
But I'm sort of enjoying it. But I'm playing Elder Scrolls Online solo. I mean I'm going there to get some of the story elements that I missed when I was playing it before.
A lot of the MMOs recently, it seems like they've made it where you can actually go through and play it solo up until a certain point. especially those that have a lot of content like World of Warcraft, like the Old Republic, like Elder Scrolls Online. You can go through it single player so that you can get through all the content that you want.
Yeah. No, I wish I think D&D Online did the dungeons where they could be single player.
Yeah.
A 2-team or a 4-team. I would love to see them do that to where I could actually go through some of the dungeons in ESO.
Right.
That without necessarily having to have a group, but.
That's actually, I can actually weigh in on that too, because now, I've actually been experimenting with a lot of games trying to just get a good feel. I like certain class combos like necromancers and martial artists. And when I was going through several new games, especially free ones, basically made the multiplayer a end game thing. Like, you could play all the way up, and you didn't really team up with other people until
most of the MMOs I've done, the multiplayer is in game anyway. It's usually in game. Like I said, I would like to see more of them do. And I don't know if whatever D&D Online has become today still has it, but I remember when D&D Online first came out, they allowed dungeons to be either. You could basically set a switch on what level of the group was required for the dungeon.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately to this day, I still got to weigh in that despite my incredible disappointment at the end game pay to win style issues I ran into, Blade and Soul had the best play through by yourself story. Just amazing. Everybody I know that played it loved the game up until end game. Like the best experience until end game. Then at end game, it just flipped. But I would play it through again. I just now know to stop immediately.
Let's see.
End game was like play up and then go out.
Population Tire.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Okay. So Population Tire says he wants Doom 2.
Yeah.
Which Doom 2 would be nice. I enjoyed the remake of Doom from Bethesda. It was a really fun game. It had that same feel, that fast pace,
Man, I would
dark
love a co-op version
shooter.
of that.
I mean, it has co-op, I think.
Doom 1 has co-ops.
Well, no,
co-op?
I don't know. No.
I mean, I just remember the awesome.
I mean, it
days
has
of Halo.
some deathmatch stuff where I think you team co-op.
Playing through Halo 1, 2, 3, Spec Ops, and Reach with my friend.
I always
amazing.
played Doom as a solo anyway because I like the. To me, Doom, you've got the music, you got this fast pace. When you get home and you're angry and you want to kill something or blow something up, you can get on Doom. You can put on some heavy fucking music and just.
Yep.
Well, you did the same thing with a friend too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, legendary mode raging through freaking Halo was awesome. I mean, we would get to it and they start playing the epic music when you get to the big fight scenes. It doesn't take away from it. And I miss the days of playing with kids today.
Yeah, I mean, my hatred for game music, and Doom is one of those few games that I'll actually leave the music on, and actually play with their music at times too, And because usually the first thing I do when I get a new game is I go through settings and I'm like, music off.
Yeah,
I don't do it on Halo.
I've used in my weekly D&D game that we do, I constantly use different music from video games and stuff like that, and some of the Doom music makes great fighting music, especially if you're fighting demons. It just fits perfect.
I used to be a music guy. But just so I send a shout out so he doesn't get mad. Also enjoyed playing co-op with my boy Blood Axe on Gears. Because I was the other guy that we would jump on there and raid through the game.
Yeah.
But I want to. Doom looked like it would be fun because it's so fast paced to go in there with the friend. Just go. We're fixing to go F this up, and then you and your friend rage through the game.
Let's see. Next, let's move on to another topic. We had talked about this some last week as well with Dungeons and Dragons. Releasing a date for their next book, which is the Waterdeep Heist.
Dragon Heist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now this one, I'm not sure. I'm going to throw this up on the screen here for you that are watching. They actually have it split into 2 books. It looks like, which.
Each book being $50 each.
Yeah, that sort of disappointed me. It feels like a
they also have a dice set
grab.
You can buy for it. That's $25 for those dice.
Yeah, I looked at the dice. It actually looked pretty cool. You know,
they
but
look $25
I'm
cool.
addicted to dice. So
They look like $5 a
Dice
die
Junkies,
cool.
man. Dice Junkies.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason for that name. I mean, look at these. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys, who are listening on the podcast. This dark blue that these dice are is just it's a really nice color. I like the color. I like the fact they also include 2 D20s and a life counter. And one of the D20s is a larger D20. It's about twice the size of a standard. But
so I'll tell you what I like the most about these. I like the simple fact that, you know, even though they look really cool, they've got the blue, they have that silverish white.
For the numbering?
For the numbers. Mm-hmm. The biggest problem that I have with any of the special dice and the custom dice is you can't read them. They look amazing, but when you roll them, you can't read them.
Yeah, I have that problem with some of my Dwarven
sets. Yeah, absolutely.
It's so frustrating when somebody in a game is using the set, and every time they roll, you gotta wait as they lean over the table.
Yeah, pick the die up,
hold
it to the light.
We had
really, man.
We had a girl in one of our games play, and I won't name any names, but she was.
You know who you are.
Yeah, she definitely knows who she is. But she was using a Japanese dice set, and all of them the numbers were kanji.
Oh wow!
And she's the only one that spoke Japanese, and we
definitely know who she is now.
We had no idea how at first how she was rolling so well, and until we saw what dice she was using. So.
And you realize that, like, well, one, we can't tell what's going, and two, we don't know if this goes properly to 20.
That's right.
Or if it's just 10 to 20 on every side. There is nothing below 10 on here.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're doing that as a 2-book set. Now, they also are apparently coming out with a new setting. I think somebody had said.
I haven't heard anything about that.
D&D
that's interesting.
setting.
Well, I'm from new to 5th Ed, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's a completely different thing, man.
Not like new.
Those are not the two things. What you just said were two completely different things. I'm going like, wait, brand new from scratch? I don't know. What do you think they're gonna do? Eberron? You think they're going to bring back Space Jammer?
They could very easily do Eberron. They did a lot of stuff with Unearthed Arcana. And in fact, my current D&D group is playing in Eberron. It's my all-time favorite actual Dungeons and Dragons set.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
Eberron. I've converted it to a lot of other systems because the thing is that ever since 4th Ed, the rules just haven't accommodated it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they haven't accommodated the dragon marks and
right.
the drag and the stones, the shards.
Yeah.
And God, the Warforged have had some of the most ridiculous incarnations.
Well, the cool thing that I've found is that Keith Baker, the guy that created Eberron, he has a lot of stuff on his site where he has customized the rules for 5e. For you to run Eberron, and it's his own flavor, a little bit different than what I'm used to from 3.5, but it works very, very well, and it makes it super easy to customize for your own games.
Okay, because honestly, ever since like 4th Ed, either 4th or 5th Ed, where Warforged were like, this is a Warforged, it doesn't know how to eat, breathe, drink, and all that, unless of course you get hit with any effect. Then it can suffocate, it can drown. It's like, wait.
On the new setting, it was comicbook.com that we got this from. But it said, Stewart said, next month we're going to talk about a couple of different settings that people can start playing as early as this year. It's going to be more like at the level of how Barovia introducing the Curse of Strahd adventure storyline is in terms of stuff.
Okay.
Says, here's the thing that's going to give you a taste of the setting, but we're not going to that setting yet. We're just letting you get in there and start doing it. So
yeah, I was going to comment on that. I mean, how do you feel, especially since I now know you're running the game,
mm-hmm.
and also, I want you to weigh in here. How do y'all feel about the fact that they're not letting us get the settings in the whole piece? Like the fact that they've done the Sword Coast, the Waterdeep. We haven't seen the old cool this is the Forgotten Realms.
Right, the full-on campaign setting books.
Well, let him go ahead.
I mean, it doesn't really bother me because I've been DMing for a good 15 years, and I got accustomed. I got accustomed to doing my own thing. For a while, I was running in my own campaign that I had built, and as work got more and more, I wound up not having enough time to fill in that stuff. It's one of the reasons why I don't play any of the White Wolf games, the World of Darkness games anymore, because, well, I love playing them, but I can't. Every time that you need a monster, you have to create it yourself. So, but customizing stuff is fairly easy, and for me, I've read so much of the actual D&D novels. Things in Eberron, themes in Forgotten Realms, things even in Greyhawk setting and Dragonlance that you get a good idea from the novels, so that you can customize them if you're familiar enough with the rules. It doesn't really bother me that much, but I do miss having those big tomes of knowledge.
Well, and that's sort of where I was going to go with it too. Like, there's so many of those tomes with all the setting information that is not even rule specific.
Yeah.
And the rules for like 5th ed are relatively straightforward, pretty simplistic. It's not hard to just roll into whatever setting you're familiar with. I mean, as far as the races go, I mean, making a quick modification to a race is no big deal to make it work with the setting. So I don't see it being a huge deal, just out of the fact that there are already so many supplements out there with this setting information. And I'm with him. I've always sort of done my own thing anyway. So
I guess because I'm an actual book collector, as you've seen.
Yeah.
I'm that guy with the shelves full of books. It's a tradition going back. Yeah. The purchase of the Forgotten Realms book, that taking it home, reading it over a course of several days, has just been something that I have always loved. And it was just very unfortunate because I don't even really like 5th ed a lot. It's not a bad system. I play it, but it's not my favorite. It's like in my top 5, but it's not in my top 3. So, but it is in my top 5. But I would definitely buy, almost just out of just tradition again, I would buy a Forgotten Realms book for 5th ed.
Sure.
Because I've always bought Forgotten Realms. I've always bought every version of Ravenloft that hits. And I've been buying every version of Eberron because just like you, it quickly became a fave, and I miss it. I'm not from a rules point of view, just as a player, I miss owning those books. I want a Forgotten Realms book, a big tome where I can go from cover to cover, and it's like coming home, man.
Yeah, I'm with Blood Axe on Ravenloft. I mean, Ravenloft was always one of my faves. And
dark gothic.
Just that ability to actually raise the hair on your player's arms, and give that real creepy feel that you can't get almost anywhere else. You can't get that level of creep factor anywhere else with Ravenloft.
And that's funny. I'm gonna switch gears on it a little bit and mention Pathfinder. Galarian I love what they did with Galarian, because even though, unlike what Q's talking about, where they didn't really have a book per se for every individual nation within Galarian, they were all there. You had I think it was Numeria, where they had all of your sci-fi stuff that you could add into your D&D game. You had the different areas where it was basically like Ravenloft. You had the quintessential Greyhawk area.
Ustalav.
Yeah, Ustalav, that's the name of it. And you even had like Osirian, where there was, a more of an Egyptian feel to it, which was super cool.
Cheliax, which was like Asmodean.
Yeah.
But what I found out recently, that a friend of mine who's our boy Kitsune, actually, I just mentioned him, there's like a frozen north that's all Baba Yaga and just an old school Grimm's Tale style
They
horror.
did. We played through the adventure path that they did in there, and not too much spoilers, but you wind up, because of the way that Galarian works, coming into a several probably like 1940s US. Earth, I guess, is the better way of putting it, because you wind up going to Russia while you're chasing down the Baba Yaga.
I've heard something like that happen. I don't know the details, but it sounds awesome.
It's pretty crazy, yeah.
So, I mean, there you go. I mean, that's the big thing is that I miss those big settings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to go back to what y'all said, because we jumped off real quick, I'm that weird dude when it comes to Ravenloft that I like playing Ravenloft. Yeah. But then I'm also the kind of guy who literally played Dark Souls just because people said it was hard. And then after playing it, I said, no, it isn't. You guys just think it's hard. Like, this is old school gaming. Like, if you started in Nintendo back in the day, I'm just like, nah, same level of difficulty. It reminds me of Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
And the other Nightmare games back then.
So, on to the next topic. Any of y'all big fans of Suicide Squad?
I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the movie. It was not great by any means.
Jared Leto was a great Joker, right?
Look, it was enjoyable.
Like,
is what I will
he's
say.
such a great Joker.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn. Yeah, the outfit was nice.
Yeah.
He's such a great.
I was like, what? Wait. Yeah.
He's such a great Joker. Warner Brothers has announced that Jared Leto's Joker is getting a standalone movie.
Yep.
So yeah.
I read something the other day on it popped up in my social feed. It was talking about how DC apparently is going dark, where the next several sets of movies that they're going to be doing is all about their villains.
Yeah, I mean, they'd already announced.
Which, they've already killed all their superheroes with their movies. So,
but they had announced a Harley Quinn movie, I think, already, and now they're doing now they announced a Jared Leto Joker movie
and a Joker movie.
Yeah, so that's there. That's happening.
I think there'll be okay. Honest opinion, it's going to probably be an interesting romp. Is it going to be good? Not in a comic book sense, but I think what they're really doing is they're about to, especially what they're doing Harley Quinn and Joker, they're about to try to they're about to try to Deadpool it.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to try to Deadpool it. They're going to go rated R, dark, edgy, comedy, villain, and they're going to try to Deadpool it. So sorry, DC, I know you're pissed that I called you on that, but we know what you're doing. Now, if you do it well, I don't care. But DC is like that ex-girlfriend that you're like, we could have had something great, but we're no good for each other.
The Discussing Network says we are down with the Joker. I don't know if that's like an ICP reference or.
Wait a minute, Discussing Network's in the Leto Joker?
I didn't know it either, man. But
that's news to me. Actually, I thought I knew those people. You know what? There you go. That's my new song. Every time now when I see a DC trailer, I'm going to play someone that I used to know. In the background is someone that I used. There you go. Okay. That's their new theme song.
I just try and I try my best with the DC movies. I mean, I will eventually watch them, just to see it, because if nothing else, I mean, I look at the DC movies kind of like I do like the Expendables and things like that. It's an okay and enjoyable action movie. You can't look at it for continuity or story or anything like that. But I think that they should just stop with the live action movies, stay with their animated movies and their TV shows.
No, you got to give it to DC on animation. Their
animation is far and above Marvel's.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's not even competition. And I notice Marvel's just kind of starting to go like, you know what, screw it, we're going to stick with live action. And I'd rather they did, because DC's got animated down. Now, you did just literally crack a good joke I don't think you knew, because Expendables is actually a parody.
Yeah.
So, I love the fact you basically called all the DC movies parody of live-action DC movies. Which, you know what? From that point of view, Suicide Squad was pretty good.
Yeah.
See? You thought of
now you
Suicide Squad as
understand.
a fan movie made by people who don't actually know anything about comics or DC. It's hilarious.
There you go.
I'm going to do that. Now I can finally go see Justice League.
There you go.
Now, when I watch Justice League, I'm going to be like, man, remember when those guys off the internet made that movie? Yeah, it looks like it was made by people off the internet. Superman's evil when he wakes up and mad now because he's dark Superman. It's all your fault, Batman. Batman didn't do anything.
No.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm spoiling that, but screw you. You should have watched it. Like, he wakes up and he's like, Batman. And it's like, you did it. You grabbed the spear. You told Batman, you stay here. You killed yourself, and now you're blaming Batman. Because apparently he's a retard. Oh, sorry. Mentally challenged. Gotta be PC.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you used the R word.
I used it, that's right. I think they ought to put a big R on his chest. Da, da, da.
All right, so...
Army.
And now that we are defunded, don't worry, we were never funded to begin with.
Boom, one of the advantages.
That's right.
So...
say what I want.
I guess that wraps up the news of everything I've heard for the week that I really cared to talk about. Have you guys have anything you want to speak of before we move on to our next section?
I mean, unfortunately E3 has been dominating, so I haven't heard anything else.
Yeah, it's mainly everything that I've heard has been on E3. So,
all right.
Yeah, I am definitely looking forward to seeing what's in those books though from Wizards.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about miniatures for a second here. We've got the pro sword and board painting here. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram.
Soon to be my site should be up in the next couple of weeks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
yep.
Some of his paintings have even been shared by like Effin' Cool Miniatures.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
Yeah, isn't this Effin' Cool right here?
Yeah,
guys, this is an Effin' Cool miniature.
That's actually
how Effin' Cool it can look.
That's actually one that Effin' Cool did share to their site. So
yep, that was awesome. Thank RPG Crate for getting that here.
Yeah,
and but yeah, no, it was awesome. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Sword and Board Painting, Instagram. Like I said, soon to be webpage up and running. There may be some more things in the works along those lines, but yeah, and in person over at Vans. So
awesome.
I'm about to get with you on something. There's something I've been kind of wanting, and now that I've got an actual pro and with how good your work is, because I mean, roughly you already probably know where I'm going. Like I got lucky at one con. We ran across an awesome group, and I found a lot of diversity figurines.
Black,
and I was like, I do Egyptian characters, I do Indian characters, I do black, I do Asian, and I was like, I can actually there's somebody I can actually go, hey man, I want to make that a black guy.
Right.
So
yeah.
we'll if I get some, we'll pop them up and we'll share them.
Absolutely.
So I'll get some to you, and then we'll have a miniatures moment.
I'll be honest with you, that actually would be a lot of fun to paint, because doing different skin tones than just white dudes is a lot more interesting.
And that's the thing, like seeing your coloring, because that's why I mentioned I don't just do black. I do Indian, like light brown, dark brown, reddish brown, like all those colors. And and like I said, you've got to get your website up so people can do orders.
Absolutely.
I would order it if somebody painted figurines of different skin colors more often. And I still haven't had a great amount of luck finding it. So
yeah,
I'll get a couple to you. I'll holler before you go, and then we'll pop them up and see if we can get that rolling. See, we can be a little bit sensitive and diverse.
Yeah.
Now that we're over with that.
One thing that Discussing Network actually brought up, and I did mean to talk about this, I forgot to add it to my show notes, is did anybody see the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse trailer?
Is that a movie or a game? Is that the movie?
Yeah.
Yes, it looks amazing.
So...
I say it looks amazing.
If you want me to drive you, we gotta go now.
I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't originally sold on the animation style for it, but seeing more and more of it, because originally it just came out as a little teaser.
Yeah.
But I like what they have going on. It's kind of the cel shaded, almost like stop motion.
Yeah,
that they have going on.
No, I mean it looks really cool, and it looks like you're gonna get a lot of different Spider-Man, and I'm definitely excited about it. I mean, I've been waiting for something with Miles Morales, because he is an awesome Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
and just to get all this together, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully they do it right. Sadly, I mean, there's still from watching the trailer, I haven't really been able to just 100% go, that's gonna be awesome. But it is taking some time getting used to the animation style.
Yeah.
But I think it should be cool.
That's hilarious.
I definitely like it better than what they've tried to do in the past with different like motion comic style. Because it looks like they're trying to do.
I've not been a big
motion
fan of the motion comic style at all. Like it's.
I would just rather read the comic or graphic novel at that point.
I mean, the motion comic style works for some of the really graphic, gritty, bloody comics. You know, I guess if you do like a rated R animation, it sort of works for that. But other than that, that's the only place that I really see that I think it felt right.
You've got to have a lot of visceral imagery in there for it to really work. Otherwise, it just is flat and you have a voiceover. So
yeah,
in my opinion.
Okay, all I can say is that this is so good. I've been ignoring both of you just watching.
Yeah, it looks like the trailer
awesome.
looks really good. Yeah,
I'm just like, this looks. Oh.
Yeah, no, like I said, all the spiders are.
They Spider Gwened it. Holy crap, they Spider Gwened
it. No, it's the multiverse, dude. They literally are putting in.
They had to find a way to make Spider Gwen a reality. I should have known. Does that mean we're also going to see Gwenpool and Gwenum, Gwen Marine? I made that last one up. I hope there's not a Gwen Wolverine.
Yeah. All right, so you got anything else to say about miniatures? I sort of cut you off there to get to that.
I mean, it's. Miniatures are awesome. You know, it's I originally got into it, you know, just from playing D&D, playing miniature games, War Machine, Warhammer, stuff along those
40K.
lines. And Age of Sigmar.
Everybody loves Sigmar.
The Sigmar, especially the new Deepkin, the Iodinith Deepkin, the Sea Elves, they look amazing. The sculpts on those miniatures are beautiful. And since I've started actually painting, rather than just doing it, you know, for my own stuff or for fun.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to play in any games, but I'll be honest with you, like it doesn't even matter. The miniatures that they have coming out now are so cool that I'd personally just rather sit back and paint them and see them on the table than to set up the game and play for about an hour.
Yeah. Skulls for the skull throw, man.
Yep. Blood for the blood god.
Oh yeah, he does. I did actually remember some news. Just a little shout out. I got to send and also a little snark, but Upgrade. If you want to see what the Venom movie could have been, then go see Upgrade. It looks like it. Honestly, I don't think the Venom movie is going to be able to match. I mean, literally down to the hey, there's something in his head and it's talking to him and it's controlling his actions. I mean, it's like Upgrade is like the freaking demo for Venom.
I'm annoyed.
I'm amazed they made that movie right before they made Venom.
I'm annoyed now because you ruined my transition with Venom. Of all things to ruin my transition with.
You got to take your time when you transition, man.
So
it's a step-by-step process.
So if you like tabletop, you like miniatures, you like stuff like that, we actually have a friend who does a game called Tortured Earth, tabletop
Keith Kenner.
game. Yeah, Kenneth Kenner.
Oh, Kenneth. Keith, Kenneth. I'm bad with names, Keith. You know that. I mean, Kenneth. You know your name.
God. Oh.
Hey, we got the name of the game right, and if we had to choose, that's the one he wants to get right.
Yeah, true. But anyway, he actually pointed us in the direction of an upcoming convention in Monroe, Louisiana. That is, it's going to be an independent gaming expo where a lot of independent game creators of tabletop, board games, stuff like that are all going to gather up and put on a con. And we actually got them to send us over the ad, so I'm not going to tell you about the con. I'm going to let them tell you about the con as we take a small break. So check this out.
Dustin here with Port City Games, and I'm wasting your time right now to tell you about an event that we are putting on in September. It's called IGDE, stands for Indie Game Developers Expo. And over there in West Monroe at their convention center, September 15th and 16th, it's a weekend, we chose it on purpose. There we're going to be showcasing all of the local awesome game developers. Anything from board games, to card games, to video games. There, you'll also be able to do tournaments, we're going to have cosplay, and even some contests and some drawing prizes for everyone, alright? So if you want to come join me and all the other local geeks and gamers to have some fun playing games and supporting our local game developers, come join me, West Monroe Convention Center, September 15th and 16th for the Independent Game Developer Expo. Hope to see you there, and let's start gaming.